Stories control everything. Your career, your relationships, your entire reality. And the most dangerous part? You do not even know it is happening. In the next 15 minutes, I will show you the exact narrative framework that master influencers use to shape human behavior, and how you can use it to transform your own life. Here is something that will keep you up tonight. Every decision you have made, every belief you hold, every path you have chosen, all of it was shaped by stories. Not facts, not logic, stories. Neuroscientists at Princeton discovered something remarkable. When someone tells you a story, your brain waves actually synchronize with the storyteller. Your neurons fire in the same patterns. You literally begin thinking like them. This is called neural coupling, and it explains why some ideas spread like wildfire while others fade into nothing. But here is where it gets fascinating. The most successful people in history understood this power intuitively. They did not just tell better stories. They became the story. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly how they did it, and more importantly, how you can do the same thing starting today. Let me tell you about a man named Joseph Campbell. In 1949, he published a book that would quietly revolutionize everything from Hollywood blockbusters to presidential campaigns. The book was called The Hero with 1,000 Faces, and it revealed something extraordinary. Campbell spent decades studying myths from every culture on Earth. Greek legends, Hindu epics, Native American tales, African folklore, and he discovered they all shared the same fundamental structure. The same story, told 1,000 different ways. He called it the monomyth, or the hero's journey. And here's why this matters to you. This pattern is not just in ancient myths. It is hardwired into the human brain. We are literally programmed to respond to this narrative structure. If this is already shifting how you see stories, drop a like, so I know to keep going. Because what comes next changes everything. Now let me put this in perspective. George Lucas read Campbell's work and used it as the blueprint for Star Wars. Think about that. A framework from ancient mythology created one of the most successful franchises in entertainment history. But it goes far deeper than movies. Political strategists use the hero's journey to craft campaign narratives. Advertisers use it to make you feel incomplete without their product. Self-help gurus use it to position themselves as mentors guiding you through your transformation. You have been living inside these constructed narratives your entire life without realizing it. But here's where it gets strange. The same structure that manipulates you can also liberate you. Once you see the pattern, you cannot unsee it. You start recognizing when someone is casting you as the hero in their story for their benefit. And more importantly, you gain the power to write your own narrative consciously. The question is, are you ready to see the strings? The hero's journey has 17 stages, but let me give you the essential 5 that control 90% of the stories you encounter. First, the ordinary world. This is where the hero lives before adventure calls. In your life, this is your current situation, your comfort zone, your everyday existence. Second, the call to adventure. Something disrupts the ordinary. A problem arises, an opportunity appears, a challenge emerges. Third, crossing the threshold. The hero commits to the journey and enters the unknown. Fourth, the ordeal. The hero faces their greatest challenge and is transformed by it. Fifth, the return with the elixir. The hero brings back wisdom or power to share with others. Now imagine you are the hero of your own story. Where are you in this journey right now? What threshold are you afraid to cross? These are not just academic questions. The answers determine everything about where your life goes next. But wait, everything I have told you so far is just the foundation. Because here is what nobody talks about. The hero's journey is not just a structure for external stories. It is the operating system of your subconscious mind. Psychologists call this narrative identity. Your brain does not store memories as raw data. It stores them as stories. And the story you tell yourself about who you are literally shapes what you are capable of achieving. If you see yourself as the victim in your life story, you will unconsciously seek out situations that confirm that role. If you see yourself as the mentor, you will find people to guide. If you see yourself as the hero, you will find adventures to pursue. This is not positive thinking nonsense. This is neuroscience. Your reticular activating system filters reality based on the narrative you have adopted. You literally see a different world than someone with a different story. If you want to see how this changes everything, make sure you are subscribed. We are just getting to the transformative part. Now let me show you how the masters actually use this. Steve Jobs understood narrative power better than almost anyone. When he launched the iPhone in 2007, he did not list features. He told a story. He cast Apple as the rebel hero fighting against the boring status quo. He made customers feel like joining Apple meant joining a revolution. Every successful brand does this. Nike does not sell shoes. They sell the hero's transformation story. Overcoming obstacles. Achieving greatness. Just do it is not a slogan. It is a call to adventure. But here is the darker side. The same techniques that inspire can manipulate. Cult leaders use narrative identity to rewrite followers' personal stories. Dictators use collective narratives to justify atrocities. Social media algorithms trap us in narrative loops that serve their profits, not our well-being. Understanding this is not optional anymore. It is survival. Drop your prediction in the comments. Do you think most people are aware of how stories control them? So how do you take control? How do you become the author of your own narrative instead of a character in someone else's story? The answer comes from cognitive behavioral therapy, and it is surprisingly simple. First, identify your current narrative. What story are you telling yourself about your life? Write it down. Be honest. Second, examine the evidence. Is this story actually true, or is it an interpretation you have accepted? Most of our limiting narratives are not facts. They are inherited scripts from family, culture, and past failures. Third, consciously rewrite the story. This does not mean lying to yourself. It means choosing which true things to emphasize. Viktor Frankl survived Nazi concentration camps by reframing his suffering as meaningful. Same facts, different story, completely different outcome. You have the same power. Every single day, you can choose which narrative lens to view your experiences through. This is not about ignoring reality. It is about recognizing that reality is always filtered through story. Here is where we bring it all together. The storytelling advantage is not about manipulation. It is about awareness. When you understand that all of human experience is filtered through narrative, you gain 3 superpowers. First, immunity. You can recognize when others are trying to cast you in their story for their benefit. Political propaganda loses its power. Advertising becomes transparent. Toxic relationships reveal their scripts. Second, influence. When you communicate through story rather than data, you connect with people on a neurological level. Your ideas spread further, your leadership deepens, your relationships strengthen. Third, and most importantly, authorship. You can consciously craft the story of your own life, not through delusion, but through deliberate emphasis. You choose what your struggles mean. You decide what role you play. You write the next chapter. This is the wisdom that the great books have been teaching for thousands of years, packaged in myth and metaphor. But I want to leave you with something even more profound. The reason storytelling works is not just psychological. It is existential. Humans are the only creatures who experience time as narrative. We remember the past as story. We imagine the future as story. We understand our present through story. This is not a limitation. It is our greatest gift. Other animals are trapped in the eternal present. We can travel through time in our minds, learn from ancestors we never met, plan for descendants we will never know. Story is how we conquered the planet. It is how we built civilizations. It is how we will reach the stars. And it all starts with the story you tell yourself tomorrow morning when you wake up. What role will you play? What adventure will you pursue? What transformation will you seek? The answer is not written yet. You are holding the pen. Now let me share the single most powerful application of everything we have discussed. It is called the narrative reframe, and it takes 60 seconds. When you face any challenge, ask yourself 3 questions. First, if this were the beginning of a movie about my transformation, what would this obstacle represent? Second, what strength is this challenge trying to develop in me? Third, when I look back on this moment in 10 years, what story do I want to tell? These questions shift you from victim to hero instantly. They do not change your circumstances. They change your relationship to your circumstances. And that changes everything. The great Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal every day. He was not just tracking events. He was actively crafting his narrative. You can do the same. It costs nothing. It takes minutes. And it compounds over a lifetime into a story worth living. So here's what I want you to take away. You are already living inside a story. The only question is whether you are the author or just a character. The books that change lives do not just give information. They give new narratives. They show us different ways to interpret our existence. That is why the Synopsis Forge exists. We distill the wisdom from great books because we believe the right story at the right time can transform everything. Joseph Campbell spent his life studying heroes because he believed we all have the potential to live heroic lives, not through grand gestures, but through conscious participation in our own narrative. Every morning you write a new page. Every choice is a plot point. Every challenge is an opportunity for character development. The story is not over. The best chapters might be ahead, and now you have the awareness to write them deliberately. That is the storytelling advantage. That is the power these ideas offer. The question is, what will you do with it? That is the essence of the storytelling advantage. Now you understand why master narratives shape reality and how you can use this knowledge to transform your own life. Subscribe for weekly book wisdom distilled. We read so you can learn. What story are you going to start telling yourself differently? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. And if there is a book you want us to forge into insights, let me know below. Until next time, write a story worth living.